Today I'm going to talk about how to think right, because many times in our thought patterns there are some flaws, there are certain mistakes that we usually do which doesn't help us, which really impedes our growth, it impedes our life. So you have to think in a right way. So how to think right? First, we have to be a detective of our own thought process. Maybe you can jot it down in a diary, write it down, all your thoughts, and then find out, label your thoughts, find out what are the common faulty patterns. Try to find out the faulty patterns. I'll give you a few examples of some common faulty patterns. One common pattern is that we often are against ourselves. We are our own worst critic. We undermine everything we do. We do not appreciate the good things in us. We do not appreciate our own achievements. Right? So we have to support ourselves. We have to be a friend of our own selves. We have to be our own best coach or our own best guide. So that correction in a mental pattern we have to bring. That is one common issue. Another common issue is that we often have a gloomy view of future. We always make negative predictions. Everything is going down. The world is going to come to an end. Science will destroy everything. This kind of my life will come to nothing. These kind of gloomy, negative predictions we often make. And we often look at life with a negative mental filter. We only look at the bad aspects, look at only the negative aspects. If I have a glass which has half full of water, I can either say it's half full or half empty. The person with the negative mindset often says it's only half empty, it's not half full. Okay? Whereas but you can rephrase it as it is half full, right? So instead of having a negative mental filter, try to have a positive approach. Look at the positive aspects. Anything in life will have negative aspects, positive aspects. Try to focus on the positive aspects. And often we jump to conclusions. Okay, we come to certain conclusions without proper deductive process, without proper evidence, without any reasoning. We just jump to certain conclusion. He is a bad person, he is a good person, I am a bad person, I am a stupid guy. So those kind of conclusions we arrive, but without any basis, right? So that we should avoid. We should try to look at what is a realistic basis of such statements, such assumptions. And we catastrophize. Often what we do is we catastrophize. Catastrophizing means looking at the worst scenarios. Always we are thinking about, no, my life is going to end. It's something, what I already said, it's something similar to having this gloomy view of future. You catastrophize, you maximize. Often people who are very depressed or anxious, they might be maximizing a lot of things. That causes their anxiety. A small thing will be multiplied into double X, triple X times. So again, reducing it to its own size, the problem to its own magnitude. So this is what it is. Okay, this is the issue. Okay. And often we think this is what others are thinking without confirming. We often say this is what that person is thinking. This is what this other guy is thinking. But how did you arrive at that conclusion? Did you go and ask that person, is this what you are thinking? No, we didn't ask anyone, but we just came to such conclusions without a proper evidence. You can ask the other person, is this what you are thinking, right? But we don't do that. So this is called mind reading. Okay, this is called mind reading. We often think we can read the mind of others. This is another common faulty pattern. Okay, and another common faulty pattern of thinking is that we are taking unfair responsibility, right? A lot of things we take responsibility on our own shoulders. This happened because of me. Things are my fault. Often it's not the case. A lot of things happen in our life which are not our fault, which are beyond our control. And there are so many factors. Everything is multifactorial. There is one, your contribution is little, there is another person who's contributing, there's XX contribution, is their environment is contributing. It's multifactorial. Every event happens because it is multifactorial. Okay, we cannot assume all the responsibility for the negative things that are happening around our life or to our relatives, or we cannot assume total, or to our family or to yourself. There are so many things which are beyond our control, and we shouldn't take too much blame on ourselves. And we shouldn't use many should, must statements. I must be happy. I must be a great person. I must do this. I should do this. If you are going to, but a lot of things in life doesn't happen that way. You cannot go and say must and should. So this must and should be dropped from our vocabulary. You should not be saying must and should statements. So what to do about all this? One is you can stop, think and reflect. Whether am I thinking in the right pattern, and move on with your life. Don't put off from what you're going to do. Just because you're thinking, you have some doubts, don't stop what you have started. Keep active. If you keep active, you'll be able to solve a lot of things. Face your fears. Don't hide yourself from the activities. Face your fears and keep to your plan. Something happens also, you keep to your plan, you stick to your plan, do your work, and respond helpfully. Okay, always have a helpful response. Helpful in the sense a positive response, something which will be productive, something which will be useful, rather than having some unuseful responses. Say I say I just quit. I say I quit. I can't do this. I can't carry on. I can't go to school. I can't. This kind of unhelpful. I can't go to college. I can't work. I can't live any longer. So these kind of responses are unhelpful in your thought process. Correct that. No, I can live. I can do this. I can. That can mentality. Okay. And don't get bullied. Don't get bullied by others. Don't get bullied by your own thoughts, by your own self. We are our own worst bully. Sometimes our own thoughts bully us. No, you can't do this. Come on, stupid fellow, stop this. So don't get bullied by your own thoughts. Don't get bullied by others. Be brave, bold, courageous, and do what you should be doing. Right? And give yourself a truly caring response. Just think, what would someone who truly loves you would say to you? What advice would they give to me? Like somebody who truly cares for me, and what would they say to me in this situation? Just think about it. So if there is an unhelpful thought, if you have a negative thought process, you ask that particular thought 7 hard questions. You ask to correct that. If a friend was in a similar situation, what would I say? This is the first thing I ask. If a friend was in the similar situation, what would I say? Because we say a lot of good things to our friends, but we are not applying that to ourselves. So what would I say to a friend who had a similar issue? Am I basing this on how I feel rather than on facts? So what are the facts? Don't go by what you're feeling, what is the emotion, all that. So what are the facts? Okay? Go by facts. And what would people say? What do people say about it? What is the general opinion? Am I looking at the whole picture? Don't look at one particular issue. Look at a long-term process. Look at the big picture. Look things in a holistic way. And does it really matter so much? A big thing, a loss or whatever. Is it so much big loss? Is it really something that's very bad? What would I say looking at it 6 months from the future? Say you had a loss, but say after 6 months you may not even be remembering it. Whatever loss it could be a relationship issue, it could be a financial issue. After 6 months, the thing would have gone. It would have, So it may not be so much in 6 months. So do a little fast forward. Look at things. Maybe it's not a big issue. I'm just exaggerating. And do I apply one set of standards for oneself and to others? I may apply this A lot of people apply one set of standards for themselves and another set of standards for others. Okay, if another person was doing the same thing, I would be more kind to that person, but I'm not kind to myself. So be kind to yourself. So that is the next rule. So these are the some unhelpful thought patterns, and this is how you can correct them. Try to correct your unhelpful thought patterns and live a very successful life. I'll go to a song.